W's and L's, the weekly recap show. We give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we don't. Another man who has caught a lot of backlash on the internet this week, deservedly so, because of the last time we saw him on the Breakfast Club specifically. Yo, Dame Dash gotta sit down and just evaluate life as a whole. Because the last time you were up at the Breakfast Club, it was, you niggas ain't shit because you got a boss. And mind you, Charlamagne was on the cusp of some pretty big things. He had a book already out. He obviously has the podcast deal with iHeart, like pretty much on the verge of becoming a mogul in the media sense in his own right. And then Envy, aside from all the real estate bullshit, Envy has some positive business ventures of his own. So to sit
I don't know if
here,
I call him positive these days.
Again, outside that real estate shit, he at least has a successful car show going on. So
he said the car show's still going.
So at the very least, coming up to a radio station and calling them all less than men because they call another person boss and effectively they call him daddy and all this shit. Like, what a turn of events for you to have to show up to the Breakfast Club again. And now all of them get to make fun of you because of all of the bullshit that you've been through since that point. All in the expense of not having a boss yourself. Hey, those people get to have a paycheck, a substantial paycheck that they get to bring home to their families. Meanwhile, you are sitting in here with false teeth telling me that they're in the casket and they get to provide for their families. Meanwhile, you're in trouble pretty much every time I see a tweet come up with your name. So the turn of events has been a crazy one to witness. You were on the Big Pimpin' video dancing with champagne bottles 20 years ago. It was all good 20 years ago. But now you up here and you got to take debt dash jokes from Charlamagne. It's crazy. And no, MoFly, Charlamagne didn't lose this situation. He does not catch an L for this whatsoever.
So I wouldn't have had any problem with how this went from the Breakfast Club and Dame Dash. You also left out the part where he called Charlamagne gay like 50 million times.
That's what MoFly specifically pointed out.
But if not for them just having Ben Shapiro on there and them not finding a way to fact check him on shit.
Well,
and so when I'm sitting up there watching them do this thing with Dame Dash, and really it just kind of devolved into Dame Dash versus Envy and Charlamagne is what it devolved into.
Sure.
And so in that way, nobody really won. If you was just counting the zings, I guess, you can do that. But in terms of like a representation of black media, it was disappointing because on one side you got Dame Dash, who is really just up there spitting falsities, like stuff that can be verified. And it's kind of embarrassing at this late stage in his career. You run around telling people you the chairman of a company, and that company almost immediately denies the fact that's even a thing. Mm-hmm. That type of shit is not
crazy. It's
not endearing, bro. Like people, they're gonna start treating you like Jaguar, right?
Right.
That's not a good place for Dame Dash to be in there. I heard somebody say earlier this week that Dame Dash represents black ownership in an industry where they don't want black people to own shit. And I respect that. What I don't respect is you coming on a black platform and talking the way that you did. Would you go sit down with Dateline and talk to Katie Kirk that way? Would you go on ABC News and talk to George Stephanopoulos that way? Would you go on Fox News and talk to Tucker Carlson that way? And call him gay a million times while you on live? Would you go on with Pierce Morgan or Cuomo and call them gay a million times?
They were going nuts on Bill O'Reilly.
Well, that's Bill O'Reilly. Nobody respects Bill O'Reilly. But what I'm saying is, would you go onto a white establishment with white talk show hosts and attack them the way that you attacked Envy and Charlamagne? And then conversely, I could ask the same thing of the Breakfast Club, but I already know what the answer is. If you had a white liar in your seat, would you go through the pains of fact checking him insulting him when he's wrong, bringing up the falsities that he said or the disrespect that he's levied? Are you going to hold him accountable for the filth that he spreads on the internet? Because as I look at Dame Dash and Ben Shapiro, yes, they both may be liars, but one is absolutely more dangerous than the other. One is definitively more dangerous than the other. So if you can find a way to fact check Dame Dash in live time, if you can find a way to push back on Dame Dash's misinformation in real time, oh, for sure you're not about to let Mr. Daily Wire walk his happy ass in here without meeting a fact check, right? No way the number one Zionist of America gets to walk into the Breakfast Club and spout his propaganda, right? But that's not how it went. That's not how it went. He got to walk y'all through the concepts that he was able to present. He got to lead you to the points that he wanted to make, not the other way around. So all I'm saying is, if you got that energy for Dame Dash, that's fine. That's all well and good. Don't you let no other white man walk in there and tell you lies then and just feed them down your platform.
And so to that, I will say, first of all, the Breakfast Club had no business bringing Ben Shapiro on
at
in the first fucking place.
Period. So the fact that they feel so comfortable going at Dame Dash, meanwhile, you letting this man sit up here and tell you that the U.S. only sends $3 billion a year to Israel and it's a bargain. You letting them tell him that it's a value proposition that we send so much military aid to Israel, and he just getting it off, and he getting the shit off. But let Dame Dash walk in there and tell you he the chairman of Revolt. Ah, nigga, you was a lying nigga. You was a lying nigga.
But I can look at both of those two situations separately because, again, the crew that took Eric Adams on and had to have another person there to fact check live, they shouldn't have Ben Shapiro on whatsoever.
Hold on. Revolt never denied his chairman position. Lauren made that up. She did not make that up.
She did not make that up.
She did not. Mofly. She didn't make that up.
She didn't make that up.
She would not get on her platform and tell you that her source at Revolt told her that without saying that. Like, that's just not that she didn't lie about.
She did not make that up. So yeah, the crew that couldn't take on Eric Adams without a live fact checker there should not have Ben Shapiro on whatsoever. Shouldn't have Tommy Loren on whatsoever. Shouldn't have all these people on. I don't know why they do that shit, and that's a separate L for them. They deserve that L, but that's a separate L. In this case, Dame Dash, and I don't know why MoFly said that they started it. He said, nah, bro, the Breakfast Club kicked that whole thing off. No, they didn't. We're not going to act like there wasn't a whole first interview.
You talking about with Dame?
Yeah. We're not going to act like there wasn't a whole first interview.
I don't care who started it because they both have equal parts in the nonsense.
That's fair.
Right? You're the pillar of black media when it comes to radio, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Dame Dash is a for better or for worse, a historic figure in black media. So if you can't have him on there and have a civil conversation, why is he coming on? I think otherwise you're just content farming. You're doing nothing than a trolling streamer would do.
I think they did that in this case, but they absolutely tried to have a civil conversation with him the first time.
Okay, and that's fine. But we're here now.
Oh,
if a civil conversation can't be had, petty. Why is he coming on?
This was absolutely a petty plan to bring Dame Dash on here and get back at him.
Because there's always the opportunity to Kanye this whole thing and let him dig his own grave and just let him talk and just let him speak.
I would argue he already digged his own grave, so there wasn't a need for this.
Because we talked about this before. When two people arguing back and forth, even if one of them is an idiot, you think the third party can determine who's the idiot and who's not?
I mean, separately of the Breakfast Club and Dame Dash situation, I would argue that Dame Dash has already dug his own grave outside of all this shit. Right? Like, him being a mogul, him being a hustler, that whole persona is dead. Like,
yeah, but I'm saying in terms of the interview though, just in terms of their interview, their interaction with Dame.
Sure.
If that's how he wanted to come in, you could have made him look adversarial. You could have made him look like he came there specifically to disrupt y'all stuff. Instead, what it looked like is that y'all was beefing. It looked like beef. It looked like both of y'all was delving into immaturity.
The way Envy was looking at him as Charlamagne was getting at Dame lets me know for sure that it was personal feelings involved all over that shit.
Which is the problem.
But
which is the problem.
Nevertheless, you shouldn't have got up there talking shit to them the first fucking time. And because you did that, the second time wouldn't look as crazy. You shouldn't have shit on them while you were up, because now you're down and they get the shit on you. That's your fault.
If we could find a way to show respect to Ben Shapiro, it is embarrassing to be arguing like cats and dogs with Dame Dash. It is. It just is. It looks away. It looks away when you can have white supremacists on your platform. You just had not a white dude. What's the streamer? Neon. You had Neon on the platform, and y'all treated him better than y'all treated Dame Dash. At least when you were trying to put and you give credit where credit was due, that was mostly Lauren LaRosa and Jess Hilarious that was leading those interviews. But y'all found a way to put his mishaps, his malfeasance in front of him without looking unprofessional. That is not what happened with Dame Dash. It was completely unprofessional. It wasn't so much of an argument as it was running the dozens. Y'all can get on IG Live and do this shit. That's not what this platform is for.
I would actually, well, I was gonna say I'd rather the platform be that than the whole Ben Shapiro thing, period. Like, I would rather you do this with Dame Dash, but never even regard Ben Shapiro as a thing when you're, or Neon for that matter. Josh Dame is doing good on as far as bread is concerned. Look what a family office is and how you can use that to your gang. That none of that.
Even what he was talking about, Mofly, like, yeah, a lot of people put their money in the family trust to protect their interests and write things off as business expenses. That is not new information.
It's also not the point.
That was him trying to explain why him going in bankruptcy or Trump going into bankruptcy was a good thing. There was a way to handle this interview with Dame Dash from the Breakfast Club standpoint that didn't happen, and that they find a way to do when they have on figures like Ben Shapiro, like a Jordan Peterson, like a who else have they had on there? We said Neon.
Tommy Lauren.
You know what I mean? Tommy Lauren. They find a way to be able to say, well, at least we were objective. I don't think there's any bit of objective you can point to in their interaction with Dame Dash.
I think my only problem with you saying that is that we both agree. We both wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. I just no longer hold the Breakfast Club with
to
that
any
standard.
real regard.
Yeah.
The problem is that they're the only ones, though. You know, in terms of radio, that's
true.
You gonna be on with Angela Yee and Mano in a minute. You know what I'm saying? If it's not them, so
yeah,
who else?
Ricky Smiley.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, we not even gonna do that, Q. We ain't even gonna do that because we know we gonna stay in our lane.
Is Adrien Broner on something? Is he addicted to something? It could just be alcohol. It could be hard drugs, and I don't know what it is. But when I saw him on It Is What It Is, or whatever the Camron show is called, Camron and Mace show is called, when I saw him persistently trying to holla at Stat Baby in a very harassment type way.
How much you weigh, Stat? How much you weigh?
It made me feel like he was on something. Right. It made me feel like he was on something. Like, bro, I've told you countless times, stop doing that fuck ass shit. And you keep doing it. Like, it seemed like he had a problem. Like, he couldn't stop himself from talking to her. And it just seemed like you was on something. And like I said, you could have been very drunk or you could have been on some drug. I don't know what it was.
So I think they was right to kick him out. I think they did their due diligence. If you watch the video, the full length video of what happened, they gave him multiple chances. Yep. He just never really snapped back into reality. What I didn't like is that they waited for the man to leave the room to call him an alcoholic and an addict and tell him that his career is spiraling and all that. If you was going to fly all that disrespect, you could have said that shit live while he was sitting right there.
Facts.
You could have said all that shit right there. It look away. You kick the nigga out, give him his money, and then be like, yeah, bitch ass nigga, don't you come around with your drunk ass no more. You know what I'm saying?
me asking that question, I didn't see that part. So me asking that question had nothing to do with that. That's crazy.
They had a bunch of clips that came out about it, and so after they kicked him out, Cam is just like going in. He like, yeah, he an alkie, he an addict, and da 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 da.
Okay.
I'm like, bruh, you talking about, oh, you got love for him, and it ain't no beef when he in your face.
When you was counting money to give it to him, you was like, hey, yo, man, like, I got love for you.
Right,
You can be outside.
You can wait on us outside if you want.
Nah, to say all that shit is crazy.
We can wait outside. I bet I would have waited on your ass, too.
Nah, that's crazy.
I'm just lit enough to let these motherfuckers go. Come on.
Okay, so then in that case, I was only going to give Cam 10% of an L, but I'm giving him a full L.
Yeah,
he
just didn't have to follow up with that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, the reason why I was going to give Cam only 10% of an L, and Mark Lamont Hill beat me to this take on the Joe Budden podcast, but the fact that like he did tell him a couple times to like chill out on it, but then he mentions like, yo, her boyfriend here and all this shit. It's like the boyfriend shouldn't matter, right? Like the fact that she's getting harassed at her job, should be
okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that should be enough of a reason why you stop harassing her.
Yeah,
I think he trying to get it across to AB like, yeah, you not just shooting your shot, my nigga. Like you actively violating like her man right here. And
that's fair.
And if he work here, like that's our employee too. So now you expect me to let you disrespect our employee's girl in front of his face while he got to keep working? Like that's insane. Nah.
Okay.
Now so you violating.
In that case, then that 10% also belongs to Adrien Broner, because if it would take the boyfriend being around for you to chill the fuck out, then
I think he was just acknowledging that there was another grown ass man in that room who had a vested interest in what AB was doing.
It should not take another man being in the room for you to stop violating a person at her job.
Fair enough.
So, no, I mean, you might be right. I guess I'm just saying.
I think it was a point of respect. He worked there. They probably already had conversations, but I don't think this is the first time anybody tried to holler at her while they was on the show. So
probably, but maybe
this has probably already come from a conversation. All right, look, I understand. You know, it's part of the show. It's cool. I work here. Just be respectful.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I did feel a way about that as well. Like I said, fucking Mark Lamont Hill beat me to that take, but it is what it is. I'm giving an L to Freddie Gibbs. I actually wanted to give this L to him last week, but my phone fucked up. But at the VMAs a couple weeks ago, Freddie Gibbs was in the audience, and guess who was in front of him and a little bit to the left? Gunna, the man who he has beef with. Mm-hmm. And he decides to whip out his phone and take videos of the fact that Gunna was sitting right in front of him and he wasn't going to do shit.
You ain't smack him?
You taking videos of Gunna not doing shit, meanwhile you are not doing shit. You're not addressing him. You're not pulling up on him. You didn't do nothing to him either. So what does it say about you?
Y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet?
What does that say about you, Mr. Gangster Gibbs, that you're not pulling up on him at the same time that he's not pulling up on you? That shit is corny. That shit is super corny. You're taking videos of this man mocking him for not doing shit. At the same time, you're not doing shit. Now, I don't want
Gibbs, man.
I don't want either one of y'all to do shit.
You gonna make me start believing Act.
Yo.
Act say all you rappers ain't gonna do shit. Act say none of y'all rappers gonna do nothing.
Now, to be fair, I don't want y'all to do shit. I want y'all to go to the award shows and nothing pop off, because then you get invited to more and more things and we all prosper. But if you're going to sit there and insult him for not doing shit, then you goofy as fuck, because you're also
never turn the other cheek. You'll die at the Oscars.
Why is there always a Clips quote?
There's a Clips quote for everything.
I've never heard of this person before. I guess it's been about 2 weeks now since this situation has, popped off and gotten huge. I've never heard about this person. I didn't know this person was apparently on the bubble to become one of the next big things. But I keep hearing about this situation, and the more and more I hear about this situation, the more troubling it is. And this person is going under the jail.
Trouble on my mind.
Singer David and this whole situation.
What's going on with this? Yeah, I've seen his name.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I first heard about it, I didn't know who this person was. I'm like, oh, this must just be some new nigga that's popping off. And apparently he got arrested. And then the next thing I hear is they found a body in his car, in his Tesla in the front trunk. And you know they're identifying it. Next thing you know, they identify the body, and it belonged to a now 13-year-old. Yeah, and then apparently, bro, the singer has been in a relationship with this 13-year-old, and basically since she was 12, and has basically kidnapped her. And there's a whole bunch of shit. I can't even keep track of all the shit that's been happening on.
This is a singer, a rapper?
No, he's a singer / I don't know if he got into some rock music or whatever, but he's one of them like new niggas.
How old is he?
20, 21, somewhere around there.
And he has a 13-year-old girlfriend.
Yes.
That's now in his trunk.
Yeah, they found in his trunk because he's 20 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and then some of the songs that he's made potentially allude to her, and potentially even the death of her. And man, to go from not knowing this person to their situation becoming this huge thing that's blowing up on my timeline has been an experience, to say the least. But to that end, absolute piece of shit. Just want to throw that out there as well. I don't know all the details. There's even some details that I provided to you that I can't even tell you because there's more shit that just keeps coming out constantly. But from what I've heard so far, absolute piece of shit and crazy situation.
How is he carrying on a relationship as a recording artist, a 20-year-old recording artist with a 13-year-old?
Hey, fam, and it's been apparently pretty public. Like not to us as fans, but like Discord asking where she is, and obviously she's in videos with him over social media and stuff like that. Like some of the signs were there. Apparently there's a video of him paying her brother or some shit. There's so much shit around this whole thing. Again, I didn't know him, so I'm not that vested into the situation. But from what I can tell,
I just seen his name popping up. I seen the David with the 4 as the A.
Yeah, I'm like, I even like before I came here, I had to look up how to say his name because I didn't know if it was David for sure or like what, because I don't know nothing about him. But that whole situation is crazy. And again, absolute piece of shit. If any of that is true, just saying. Tell Freddie Gibbs why he didn't pull up on Jeezy, because Jeezy a real one. Well, Jeezy,
to some.
I was going to say Jeezy of yesteryear.
Yeah, to some.
Of yesteryear from like a long time ago was a real one.
I think Pookie Loud would disagree.
Put his ass in the dirt. Yeah, no, that shit was crazy.
Pookie Loud. So I'll give an L to the U.S. Senate, who unanimously voted to make October 14th Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day.
No.
I just don't well, I understand. I get it. We live in a white supremacist country, so why would we not celebrate a white supremacist, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not really sure what happens when something like that goes through the Senate first. Does it have to come back down to the House to get approved?
I thought it was already like confirmed a thing, so I guess I thought Senate already took care of it. But
interesting. Well,
or I guess maybe in the sense of national observances, maybe it doesn't have to go through the full process. I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't know. But regardless, the fact that there is a national Charlie Kirk Day,
it sounds like poop on the sidewalk day. That's what we're going to take it as. If you have a national Remembrance Day in your local municipal area, just drop a deuce on the sidewalk in solidarity.
Not for nothing, Charlie Kirk was an influencer. That's all the fuck he was.
Damn, it's blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind that
he wasn't a politician.
U.S. senators,
he was a YouTuber.
Are fucking putting together a day of remembrance for a YouTuber. Our society is
When are
done.
we getting the National Mr. Beast Day?
It is bad news over here. It's bad news bears.
Like
we are deteriorating slowly. Well, actually, it's not even that slow. It's happening rapidly.
It's happening very rapidly.
Very quick. The next L I got. So I mentioned earlier about a certain judge and a certain shooting of some black churchgoers in South Carolina some years back, the Dylan Roof shooting, right? The judge who was involved in that case at the time described Roof's family as victims.
Yeah, I remember he said some nice stuff about
Yeah, hold on. Let me get back to him. Let's get his words up here. I don't want to misquote the man,
They're
right?
treating Charlie Kirk like he is Nipsey Hussle. They are. Unfortunately.
Who was reprimanded for using the N-word. That was one.
The judge said the N-word?
Mm-hmm. Dylan Roof's family is victims immediately after the killing. Roof got his Burger King immediately after that, too. So that was all good. He was recently arrested for possession of sexual abuse images. So kitty porn.
Hey, yo, of course.
Kitty porn, right?
Of course.
Yeah. No, you have to be a very principled individual to be a judge, and that's why this judge is a kitty porn watcher.
Fam, I just don't understand the hypocrisy behind the right. Actually,
I do. It's projection. That's all it is. It's projection.
It has to be.
Let me persecute others for the shit I do to hide.
Black people and immigrants and trans people are the worst people in the world. Yeah. Meanwhile,
literal devil, literally Satan. Tom Homan. This is another
white man.
U.S. Well, he is the border czar. So he's the guy in charge of, the border crossings and all that other stuff, the new detention centers that they're putting up for detainees and whatnot. Okay. But again, position where you got to be principled, right? You got to be a very professional person, a person who has border security on your mind, and immigration laws is probably a big thing for you. So, very responsible individual. He was caught up in an FBI sting in 2024, where FBI agents recorded him taking a $50,000 bribe for access to Trump and government contracts.
Bro.
And guess why we never heard about that? Because it happened in 2024.
I'm assuming Trump had
because Trump's DOJ shut it down. He killed it. Killed the investigation, calling it a deep state probe. Now, again, let me repeat to you. This man was caught on film accepting the bribes in exchange for access to government contracts.
Ridiculous.
By the FBI.
It's your boy Cash Patel.
Mr. Cross-eyed Patel back there.
Your boy Cash Patel.
A whole catch and kill. Only this is not a newspaper. It's the fucking DOJ. Once again, saying shit to us and just expecting us to just eat it up. Like we're stupid.
Trump is Cardi B?
Basically. All right, we're going to end it on a negative and not a positive note, but a note that should be commended to an individual. So at Delta State University, there was a black student found in the woods hanging from a tree. And they called it self-harm.
With broken arms and broken legs?
Mm-hmm. And he called it self-harm. And so now, apparently, and this is the dub of the situation, Colin Kaepernick is paying for an independent autopsy.
I saw that.
So that's dope on one hand. But on the other, where we seem to be going back in time towards lynchings.
Or how the police can find no foul play in a situation where a man is hanging, but his arms and legs are broken. How does that make sense?
There was a shooting last week here in Columbus. Was it in Linden? It might have been. I'm not sure what side of town it was, but said they were doing a chase. Said that the kid got out and pointed a gun back at the police officers, and they had to put him down.
Well,
we haven't gotten the video. I was about to say they say a lot of things.
Right.
Right? They said and Andre Hill had something in his hand.
They said that for Casey.
Casey Goodson had said he had a fucking sub sandwich.
Yep.
So we'll see how it plays out. It's just interesting, man, about these this one isn't even involving a cop. So it's like, who are you protecting? Are you protecting the university? Are you protecting somebody at the university? Like, I can't imagine that our first thought is going to be suicide when you got somebody hanging from a rope in the middle of nowhere with their limbs broken.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, a institution for higher learning, their first thought should be the fact that there is not safety for the students here on this campus. So fuck all the political bullshit. How am I keeping my students safe? That should be the first question on your mind. We need to investigate and figure out what happened. This is not an L, this is not a dub, but this is a fuck you to Texas Governor Abbott. Bro is out here retweeting all these black people, specifically celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and demanding they be suspended, expelled. Fuck that shit. Fuck you. Fuck
the
Governor
students?
Abbott. Yeah. This person should be expelled and the people laughing along with them should be, bro, fuck you. Fuck Governor Abbott. Straight up. There's no L. There's no dub. It's fuck you. He's trying to position himself to be the next Trump once Trump is gone in the next 6 to 8 months.
You ain't JD Vance. You ain't Jared Kushner.
Well, JD Vance is.
That's who they promising to be the next.
There's no way.
You ain't gonna get your chance, buddy. The couch humper is right in perfect position. He's in the pool position, baby.
Yo.
He gonna box you out. That's our Dubs and Nails. Tell us what you thought about ours. Give us yours in the prompt below. Like, share, subscribe. We're here every Sunday, 4 o'clock live, or you can catch the replay for Dubs and Nails on Wednesdays at 10 a.m.
Absolutely. And make sure you check out our playlist full of Dubs and Nails from previous weeks. You know, just pop culture takes and things like that. So make sure you see what we gave a dub to and what we gave an L to from previous weeks. And then, like you said, make sure you check us out every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. We'll have a new Dubs and Nails here for you.